on broadcast. Do the thing. Oh, our this hangout is on air is live.
Says it's live.
Yeah. They're closing this shit, closing the doors on Google Hangouts next year.
It's kind of broken.
What's broken about it? You don't love
So
this?
if you you're right. What am I
Yeah.
talking about? The fuck am I talking about?
Do you have your camera on or something? Because I just see a
No,
dark room.
no, I don't have my camera. Oh, here we go. Let's try. There we go.
I think you did.
You're right, but I have a piece of tape over at like Fox Mulder, so it doesn't
E-
matter either way.
Everybody at work does that shit. Everybody.
If you've
Like,
watched X Files one time, that's all I'm saying.
and it's not even like tape. Some people actually have like a clip on that you can buy specifically for that
No
purpose.
shit.
Yeah, like a little like it kind of just adheres to it. It's interesting.
Huh? That's a $1 million idea.
Yeah, it's mine. You don't get to have
Pa-
it. I should
well, it's
fucking
just
trademark the idea.
pandering to our fears,
Yeah, it's
which
fine.
is fine.
All right, let's get this thing started. Usually it takes me and Daniel much far longer to get through, I guess, pre-show, whatever that could
Fair
be.
enough. Yeah.
Mainly it's just him. I'm just gonna hit it and we're just gonna fucking do this, and this is gonna be the only take.
All right, let's go.
All right, and a three and an eight and a one and a two. uh, Welcome to the Save Room, your safe haven for gaming news and discussion. My name is Kevin, and today I have a special guest. Say hello, special guest.
Hi, I'm Jess.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Jess. Hey Jess, what's going on? Wait a
Not
second.
much. How are you?
You're not Daniel. What the fuck?
Now I know. Save roommates, please don't be alarmed, but Daniel is with us in spirit. He's gone to the great beyond, South Florida.
He's MIA in MIA.
Correct.
Now, Daniel is away for the holidays. He's doing his thing. He's hanging out with his family. He went back to the motherland, Florida, and I hope he's enjoying himself. I don't think he expected me to do an episode. I think he thought I was just gonna like record some like video game recipes, like chocobo salad or some
Just
shit.
taking everything from Overcooked and turning it into an actual cookbook.
Exactly. And no, what happened was the fucking Game Awards. So Jeff Keighley's video game, what do you, Alakazoo, that's not a word.
Extravaganza.
Extravaganza occurred over the weekend and we saw a lot of shit. Don't pretend you actually cared about the awards. You were there for the announcements. Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't lie.
I mean,
Don't lie.
yeah. It's 100% the audience that just pulls it away from me. Sometimes I just can't care. And I'll be honest, Joe McHale was a good poll, so I was pretty invested in having him there. I do like him.
You don't remember the disaster that was 2013's VGX, like when it was
Now,
still on Spike TV? You didn't watch
I
that?
knew you were going to bring that up. I do, but I wanted him to have his moment in the sun.
Oh man, he flew into the sun on that one.
Yes, he was Icarus.
I
It
can
was
cringe at that. He even made a joke when he got up on stage to present an award. He was just like, "Man, can't believe you asked me back."
bad. Can you blame him though?
And like, I don't know where to land, like on his side or Jeff Keighley's side, where it's like, "Oh man, keep it professional." But the other side, I'm like, "Well, I feel like Mikhail. This is fucking ridiculous. It's a giant commercial, Jeff. It's a commercial."
It completely is, and that's probably why I get so uncomfortable watching it, and I usually just go in for the awards. Like I'm interested to see what the general consensus is, but miss me with the rest of it.
Did you vote? It's very important that you voted for
I did.
Jeff's awards.
I did. I exercised my right to vote um, proudly as somebody plagued by video games. Um,
Play
happy to.
Plagued by video games. That's the name of the podcast now. Fuck the save room. It's plagued by video games.
No, you can't have it. I'll pry it out of my cold dead hands. Um,
So, for people that don't know, you were on the Spooky Room, our special Halloween episode, where we
I
actually talked
was.
about our favorite Halloween films that we like to dust off every year. Check that one
Yes.
out. People seem to engage with that good. I'm glad that you've upgraded since that episode from the pack-in PS4 microphone to like a legitimate headset, and I'm
This
very happy
is
for it.
This is what the kids call a glow up. So we're getting there.
The kids do indeed say things that make me cringe. Now, just to give the save roommates out there a sense of who you are, Jess, we'll play it's a thought experiment. We're gonna play
Okay.
fuck, marry, kill, but
Jesus
your choices
Christ.
are Mario, Sonic, or Crash the Bandicoot.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna say we're gonna. I would say.
think carefully.
I feel like this is less of a thought experiment.
I'm just being backed up against a wall,
More like I'm being held hostage.
like I'm wearing a crash suit.
I think you really just want to hear me say that I would fuck Sonic the Hedgehog.
Gotta go fast, gotta eat ass. It's Sonic's mantra. Okay,
You
fine.
know,
Don't answer it. Don't answer it.
oh
It's
god.
actually it's one of those ones where like there's no correct answer, but every answer is correct at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
exactly.
oh, all right. Well, I'm glad I didn't say anything else then. But if we're being honest here, it would definitely be fuck Sonic, marry Crash, and kill Mario.
My answer is a little more interesting. It's a little abstract. It's fuck these choices. All of the answers are Shadow the Hedgehog.
That's you can't.
I
No.
have to. I'm gonna fuck him. I'm gonna marry him. I'm gonna kill him, and it's gonna be the best movie you've ever seen.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is voicing everyone.
He voices absolutely. He's Robotnik. He's Shadow.
He's
He's
Biggs the
Sonic.
cat.
He's he's Garfield for some reason.
He's
Garfield's not a part of this. He's there.
Get Bill Murray back in it just for a Garfield cameo.
Okay, let's not derail this too much. We got to
We
talk
can't.
about Jeff's very serious awards, but first, I've got some
Extremely
housekeeping
serious.
for you. Yes, you better take it seriously.
I do.
Okay, good. For the sake of Shadow. If you didn't know, the Save Room is brought to you by two soft boys. Typically, one of those soft boys is off doing his own adventures. But we don't know how to monetize our efforts, but we at least can get you to, rate, subscribe, star, leave angry comments, do whatever you need to. Because
Wait, no, don't do that.
wait, you sure that's not okay?
Good comments. Good comments. Good comments.
Good comments. Good comments. Angry comments, but 5 stars is our rule. Like you can say whatever you want, but give us that 5-star. Yeah. It's that. So you can find us on soundcloud.com/the Save Room Show. That is our home. So is it home to many rappers and upstarts? And we're proud of it. And you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify. If you wanted to see me stream, I don't know why, but you can find me on twitch.tv/the I'm very indecisive this month. I don't know what to stream. Nothing is striking my fancy. I'll figure it out. I will.
Oh, and since Daniel's not here, I will plug Daniel's Twitch, which is twitchtv.com/Dungeons and Daniels.
That's right. You got it. Or is it Daniel's?
Yeah, nailed it.
We'll try both.
No, it's not.
Give a sub to both.
No, don't. I listen to the podcast. I would know.
Daniel always calls me out because I do this thing where like I usually stream on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and I always say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Just stop saying what days of the week. Just stop giving people a time frame. Let them find out on their own. Be like a surprise.
Well, everything that we do, Jess, is bad content creation. You have good content creation. Do you want to throw in some plugs on this show?
Why, sure. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Cylon, and that's spelled PSYLAWN. And you can find some of my writing that I've done for Habitat Literary Magazine. You can find that at habitatlitmag.com/stompingground. There I do some reviews of poetry books, and I'm working on another one right now. Should be out later this month.
Can you tell us what book you're working on? Or what are you reviewing?
It's I signed an NDA, so I can't really say too much. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
It's actually the first poetry book of a famous singer named Mary Lambert. She did a song with Macklemore. So I figured it would be interesting to see, somebody who's a little bit more famous branching off into a different genre, essentially, of writing, seeing what they had to say and how they said it.
Are you going to interview Macklemore?
We already did. It went really well. We've been
Oh,
on 3 dates already.
oh my God.
Yeah,
This is
but
escalating.
no, I haven't done an interview in a while, but you can see my most recent interview on there that I did with the poet Jamie Mortara. And if you want to check that out, that is at the same link that I mentioned earlier.
That one was awesome, actually. I read that.
Oh, thank you so much.
I remember. Yeah, whatever. And it was all no, it's very, very good reviews. You actually have a way when you review poetry, it is poetry, which breaks my
Oh,
fucking mind.
don't.
No, I'm just
Don't.
saying. I'm being real. I'm being real with you. This is just fact. This is objective. It's poetry.
It's just facts.
This is
Just the
absolute
facts,
fact.
ma'am.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you for coming on to the show. Today we have some shit in store for you, usually, but I wanted to talk a little bit about okay. Right before we started this podcast, I beat Red Dead Redemption 2. Like
Are
I
you
rolled the
serious?
credit. Yeah, no, it happened today. I didn't think it would happen today, but I've been working
Whoa.
through what is considered the epilogue for the last like week and a half.
Wow.
Pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah. Yeah. So I you've heard on previous episodes, Save Roommates, and you as well, Jess. It is a story of clunk and archaic choices is what kind of plagues my enjoyment with the game.
Mm-hmm.
But and it was a slow burn with the narrative too. You know, I started the game and I was just like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not into Arthur Morgan or his characterization or the fact that he sounds like Foghorn Leghorn.
I remember you saying
I
exactly that.
yeah, exactly. And then Dutch is just like, man, what? I don't care. He's like a ringleader to this fucking circus. But then there's a halfway point in the game, like around chapter 4, where it just greases up the narrative and fucking goes just sliding into hell. It's insane. It's amazing, actually. Some of the shit that happens, and there's legitimate moments that just kind of it was like a punch to the gut, like just took my breath away. Just simple lines, simple interactions.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to get into super spoiler town. I think I might want to
Of
do like
course.
another episode where we just kind of telegraph like, hey, we're gonna spoil the shit out of this, because there's things that I feel
We
like you need to experience like by yourself. But it is probably my favorite story of the year in a game for
wow.
sure, but not my
Wow.
favorite game of the year.
What would you
That
say your favorite game of the year is? Wait, no, don't tell me. I know the answer.
take a fucking guess.
Does it?
Twit, son.
God. Speaking of your
Yeah,
favorite game of the year, which if you didn't catch the
I didn't.
insinuation,
No.
which is Spider-Man, Kevin and I were just talking about how excited we are to go see the Into the Spider-Verse film, which is coming out December 14th.
Holy shit. I am so excited. In
I
fact,
am beyond.
early reviews are saying it's the best Spider-Man movie, bar
I
none.
fully believe that. I fully believe that. Are you kidding me? I
I'm
think.
there with it. I
Did you see?
am.
I mean, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think you and I
What?
have. Okay, you and I both have kind of like a tenuous relationship with Rotten Tomatoes, where we have films that we just adore completely, and they've
We have a
just been
tenuous relationship with most spoiled fruit, to be
this.
honest.
Speak for yourself.
It's
Um,
so shit.
so I think that to say that it's going to be the best Spider-Man film ever made is it makes perfect sense to me, because I think this is the kind of treatment that Spider-Man deserved. I think that there's too much Spider-Man lore not to go into it with this kind of approach. In a way, not to give too much away from what I know about the film. I'm kind of hoping to go into it a little bit blind, but what I've seen of it so far, I mean, I'll be honest, like the Miles Morales clip that I saw did make me tear up a little bit. I was just like,
Really?
I was like, that's my Spidey, like he's probably one of my favorites. I just got so excited because it felt so real. I mean, I don't know if you saw the clip, but it's, Miles alone in his room and he's kind of singing along to a song, but he keeps forgetting the words and he's like kind of tripping up a little, but he's still going, still confident. Like, kind of, it was
Yeah.
so real. I was like, oh, I've done that, earlier today,
I
um,
I really, really love this kind of renaissance of Miles Morales as a character being recognized and like kind of just bleeding into different media, because like he shows up in Marvel Spider-Man for
mhm.
PS4, and then he's in this. It's like the year of Miles essentially, and I
It's
I
so
want us to
good.
get to a point where we get some live action Miles. you know, like
Please.
we work our way toward that goal would be great. But yeah, I am so into this movie. I love the source material, the comics. What was it Into the Spider-Verse in the comics? I think it had a different name, just
I
Spider-Verse,
don't remember.
something.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
Oh man, but that was the shit that introduced us to Spider-Punk and
Yes,
just
Spider-Punk.
every combination of Spider-Man that you could think of, and then
But what was
Spider-Gwen.
cool about that is that it shows that it's not Peter Parker that makes Spider-Man. It's it's what Spider-Man stands for, and it's kind of the way Spider-Man interacts with the world around them, and it was very special. I mean, yeah, even Spider-Gwen, I mean, which is a personal favorite, but like I said, just Miles himself and like kind of what he represents is it's so all American, so modern. I'm very excited.
Oh, I'm too excited for it. Actually, you gotta fucking restrain me at this movie.
You gotta hold me back. Gotta get some
Yeah.
webs on me so I don't go nowhere.
Now that we're on the subject of Marvel, real quick, what also happened this week for us, time of recording, Sunday, December hang on 9th.
Ninth.
The Avengers 4 trailer came out. We have our title. It is called Avengers Endgame. And first of all, did you see this trailer?
I didn't.
You didn't see the trailer? Okay.
I
Okay.
didn't watch it. Yeah,
You need to put eyes
because
on it.
I was too busy rewatching the Captain Marvel trailer over and
Jesus
over.
Christ. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, go watch the trailer because it does not spoil anything about the plot of Endgame. It doesn't need to. It just all it's doing is saying, hey, you know it's coming. Here's a little bit of a tidbit. It's coming out in April. It's not doing anything with the plot. It's not doing anything like that because it understands, like, wow, we kind of set a precedent for what an event movie is. Like it started with Avengers 2, whatever we don't talk about, and then Avengers Infinity War was like what the fuck, like the culmination of all of these films in the one. And so this is kind of poised as the payoff. So the trailer itself is like this depressing slow burn trailer where we get Tony Stark. He's adrift in space, lost. It looks like he's been out there for a while. We have we show Cap. He's shaven. The most unfortunate thing to happen.
That was the one thing I heard about the trailer.
Right. And we see Hawkeye, and then it ends with just Ant-Man showing up and going like, hey guys, I got a plan or some shit. And it's like, oh my God, like they tell us nothing, and that's all they need to say about it. That's all they need to do. I am so fucking excited for this movie because I was literally like it felt like a hurricane, a category 2, just knocking me back in my seat watching that fucking movie, Infinity War, when it came out.
Really?
I can't wait to see what they do here. That's my birthday month too.
Oh, you're right. Yes, should be good. You'll have to throw like a pizza birthday party and rent out one of the rooms at the movie theater.
I'll bring some Smash as well. play it on the movie screen.
Your mom can bring us codeine. Oh yes, Smash. What?
Did you say my mom can bring us codeine? No, Jess.
Your mom can bring the sodies.
Oh, sorry. These remote sessions really just fuck with the ears. Okay.
So Smash Brothers.
I have acquired the Smash Brothers, and the Smash Brothers are well. I really like this game. Because the last time I was into Smash was like Melee, and I didn't even play it right because I had no friends when I was 12, so 11, 12. So I was just playing a lot of the adventure mode by myself and shit, and unlocking characters and just like, oh, okay. But now I have other people, grown man children like myself and Daniel, and
Correct.
we can play Smash and smash at each other, and this one is so. It's interlaced with nostalgia, but it's new and fresh and it feels good. And it does this thing where all the characters, when you start, you only have 8 characters to start with for a cast of like 70 plus fucking characters. Some people are annoyed by this choice, which I totally see. But I don't know. It's actually kind of exciting to unlock characters because the way they do it is that, you beat the classic mode, for instance, and then at the very end, after you go through all of that, it just says new challenger, and then it's like the silhouette of the
Ooh.
character you fight, and it's like, who's it gonna be? And sometimes it's like, oh, some of their silhouettes are the same, so it's like, I think it's Jigglypuff, and then it's like, oh fuck, it's not. It was Samus Aran. I don't know how I got that one wrong. But it's
Their hair
actually,
is the same.
but it's exciting actually, and it's fun, and
Yeah.
it is so stuffed with content and references and just steeped in Nintendo. It is leaking with fucking 30 years plus of video game history, and it is insanely fun. It is like a celebration almost, not just a fighting game.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, Sakurai, it was worth it, man. I know that you haven't slept in 177 days, and you're basically living off of an IV, but you
Just a
did it,
shell of a
buddy.
man.
Broken, shattered, but thank you.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I know me and Daniel will talk more about Smash Brothers and get into it. I've only gotten through a little bit of it. You were talking about wanting to get a Switch, right?
I am dying to get a Switch. You have no idea. I
Okay,
think about it every day.
what would be your lineup of like what are the first ones that you're gonna get?
Gotta get Katamari.
Got to get
Have to
Katamari.
have to get Katamari reroll.
Right.
Save roommates. If you have never played any of the Katamari games, I implore you to pick up Katamari reroll. Even if you cannot get a physical copy, which is going to be a limited edition kind of release.
Yeah, it's GameStop exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, GameStop exclusive. But if you can download it from the store, I think that would be really great because the developer of it kind of insists that the reason he makes it is just so that it puts a smile on the fan's face. And I think there's
pay off the alimony.
That's the subtext of the tweet. We don't talk about that. But
Yeah.
it's such a genuine, like, I worked really hard on this game.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of advertising for it. In fact, I don't think I've seen any, to be completely honest with you. Namco
No,
Bandai has kind of just shoved it under the
they
rug.
really dropped the ball on that one, and thank you for saying it correctly because Daniel always says band. What is it? It's
Bando Namco or
yeah, Bando Namkai. Bando
Yeah.
Namkai. Every
It's
time.
okay. It's okay. He
Yeah.
means well.
He's
But
a lovely boy.
he's the reason I played the Katamari games. He's the one who we were hanging out one day and he just was like asking if I had ever played it, and instead of telling me how to play the game, simply put it in to his PlayStation and just handed me a controller and was like, "Here you go, just play it."
He's
Just
very dramatic, but I
yeah.
will say there's no bigger proponent for Katamari than Mr. Daniel. It is he still has the PS2 copies lying around the house
Yeah,
somewhere. So
absolutely. And I think I'm a close second. I just recently purchased the soundtrack on vinyl.
No shit. All right, all
I did,
right.
yeah. And I think I can speak so highly of the soundtrack. I mean, when I was in college and I was, back in the day when you could only store so much on your phone, I would keep the soundtrack on there just so I had something to listen to while I was walking around campus, because it's just so pleasant and nice. And when you're playing the game, it's very transportative because you're kind of like in this spectacular universe that is so wholesome in a way, but so kind of it's odd. There's something odd about it, but it's very satisfying and sweet in a way.
You know
So
what? You know what's
Katamari.
really crazy though?
Hmm.
I didn't know you went to college.
Shut up.
Sorry. Please go ahead.
I went to college the same way that Buffy went to college, okay? Just, and then I was enrolled, but I was too busy going to class because I was killing vampires.
Right, and getting your heart broken by the college heartthrob. And then he gets murdered by like dire wolf or something. It's like, oh well.
You guys are so I can't. This is not the Buffy fan cast that we have talked about many times.
Every episode of the
every
Save Room is a Buffy fan cast.
Every
Sorry,
day-
Save Roommates. You got duped.
Every day of my life is a Buffy fan cast. So Katamari would absolutely be the first game that I would get. Gotta get Let's Go Eevee. And I know you're gonna ask
Fuck
me.
that.
No, listen.
No, I'm just gonna say fuck that.
No, incorrect, because I get to have a Vaporeon, and that's very important to me.
No, you didn't.
It's very important.
Not on my
to me.
podcast. Yes.
He's my favorite son, and I love him.
I gotta go with Pikachu.
Sorry, who?
Piku. That's my
Oh,
boy Piku. Sorry.
that's my boy Piku.
I've been
Yeah, I know
drinking.
him
It's
well.
Sunday. God damn it. This is not a work day, Jess. Stop coming after me.
Listen, you're on the podcast. It's work.
That's true. I am running this ship today, and I need to treat it tender and well. Not let
I'm
it
I'm just a lone crewman trying to help you survive.
Okay, well, will you get Smash?
I
Uh
will not be getting Smash.
what? What the
I will
fuck?
not. Well, I'm a different kind of gamer. I wouldn't say I'm like a casual gamer because honestly, if I would add a third game to that lineup, it would probably be The World Ends with You or maybe even like Transistor,
Mm,
which are they're not easy games. And I mean, they're not. I mean, they're complicated. They have really complicated mechanics when you get right down to it. They're beautiful games, but they're not easy and casual the way Cat of Mario and Pokemon are. But I mean, there's something about Smash that is I played it when I was younger. I just am bad at competitive fighting games, but
mhm.
because I get so worked up and nervous, but I do like playing as like, Kirby and having like a good time just like destroying people as a small pink creature, which, I mean, who doesn't love that?
I will agree, like it does take a certain okay, so when I'm done with a session of Smash, I realize that my shoulders are tense and I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I
Really?
so yeah, I get tense during like competitive games. Like I enjoy them, but I realize that like, oh shit, I've been tense and alert and it hasn't really been like relaxment. Sometimes
Exactly.
that's good. Sometimes that's a good release to be like I'm getting my frustrations out on fucking Incineroar, or that stupid Tony the Tiger son of a bitch. But like, other days it's like I'd rather just kind of play something along the lines of Tetris or Katamari, just
Mhm.
kind of something relaxing, something that's meant to be stimulant but like not pulling something out of you.
Challenging, but not
Mhm.
frustrating.
Yeah, for sure. Like especially like there's this game that I was interested in. Actually, a coworker of mine brought it up to me. He's a stringent PC gamer, so he only talks about games that like he sees on PC. And he was like, "Oh, there's this game on early access. I think it's coming out on." He has a Moldovan accent actually, and I'm not. I'm gonna do him the justice of
Don't,
not trying to replicate his
don't,
accent.
don't.
But he brought this game up to my attention called Subnautica, and it's kind of like those old endless ocean games for the
Oh,
Wii, where you just kind of like go through the ocean and discover stuff. But the bent in this game is that it's a survival game, and so you have to collect things. So think kind of No Man's Sky, but underwater. But also it gets scary as fuck because the deeper you
so
go, the larger the creatures are,
so it's
and
like
it's
No Man's
pitch black.
Sky meets Echo the Dolphin meets Don't Starve.
Exactly. That's what the box said, actually. Dash Game Pro. What the fuck? How did they?
Wait, Game Pro.
How long has this been in early access? No, so
Oh my god.
but the thing is, like, gaming has gotten to a point where it's like it's so different than like when we were growing up and playing it and like getting our hands on Pokemon for the Game Boy. It's where there's a
Hmm.
such a variety of things out there that are meant for all tastes. So it's like I don't even think it's like appropriate for somebody to be like, "Well, I'm a casual gamer because I don't engage with mainstream games." No,
Hmm.
you're doing your own shit and going after a subset of games that other people would have no idea for. Like you love indie games,
I
you know?
do. I don't like to call myself a gamer because I feel like I'm going to get that challenged every single time I bring it up. It's going to be like, oh, what games have you beat recently? And it's like, I play Tetris every day and I'm getting very good at it. like
I
I don't know what to say.
I honestly, I know exactly where you're coming from, and I also kind of am very hesitant to be like, I'm a gamer and proud of it. I'm like, I'm not really proud to be a
I'm
gamer
not,
because
I'm not, but
I'm
I'll
in
be
the
honest.
ecosystem with people that look at a game, and if you add women to it, they think it's a political statement. What the fuck?
Exactly, exactly. Especially if the woman isn't fuckable.
Especially
Yeah.
here,
So
this is why you're on the save room proper. Now we're getting
exactly.
into it.
It's
Welcome
just
to the
it's just
SJW room, motherfuckers. We're back.
that's right, bitch. I'm fucking here. But I feel that for most people that would challenge me on video games and whether or not I am actually like a gamer, I have been playing video games for like 20 years. like I've beat a lot of video games. I have played. I can like look over right now. I have a stack of like 9 different like Game Boy cartridges that I've plowed through all of them. I mean, you've seen me go through some pretty difficult games. I mean, like I played a shit ton of BioShock Infinite and fucking all the Borderlands games. And I mean, I had Borderlands for 3 different systems for fuck's sake. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
so but I do, I have a huge Steam backlog, and I've got like, I think I mention every time I get an email from Steam where it's like, you've got 30 games on your wish list that are now on sale, and my wallet's just like, fuck you, but I do want to put the time into playing these games, but even though I do love doing it, I feel reticent to do it because I don't feel like I belong in that community sometimes.
Oh, and that's like the most heartbreaking thing,
Yeah.
where to hear that it's been so like the gatekeeping is so prevalent and the elitism and the fucking just horrible mentality is that we're keeping interest out. We're stopping growth of this hobby of ours that we love so much, of like really just being the kind of cultural thing, like the argument where it's like, is it art or not, that comes up. It wouldn't come up if we didn't have these subsections that just stopped it from growing amongst the
Yep,
population,
exactly. That's
because they're just like,
exactly
it's
it.
all mine and you can't have it.
And
And
you're not
also,
allowed.
the default should be a white male with muscles in every cover art, just all of them. Like
This is
what?
and honestly, like I'm wearing my Mass Effect hoodie right now, and that's the perfect example of it. Like I think you remember how excited I was when they uh came out with the different cover for FemShep for the third one.
Yeah, right. And people got like upset about that. It was a
Hmm.
reversible cover. You don't have to like why its
I
very
know.
existence upsets them. But it's like it's such a big thing, and like I think especially for the white males that dominate this passion of mine, is that they don't realize that that means the world to somebody out there. Like let's go
Yep.
back to Miles Morales, for instance. That
Of
meant the
course.
world to people that just pick it up and go like, that's me on the cover.
That's me. I mean,
You know?
have you've had that moment before where there's been a piece of media where you were like, "Oh my God, that's the closest to me I've ever seen, and now I
Mhm.
love this." You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I feel like maybe you might feel that way with Peter Parker. I think there's a part of you that's always kind of been like, "Yeah, there's things that Peter Parker stands for that I just like I feel that." And there have been times when I've been playing games, and there's been times when I've been experiencing media where it was like, oh hey, that's me, and the fact that I get to feel this like is, even though it's something that other people have questioned and like not even taken into account, like white men get to just play Call of Duty and they don't even think about it because the character's automatically like a white dude. But for me to get to play Mass Effect and maybe even like make my femship look maybe a little like me, even though I went with like a redhead because she's way cuter that way. But the fact that that's an option to me, like I can make her look like this weird Jew in space, like fucking up aliens, that's awesome.
No, that's fantastic. And it shouldn't be something that's like, oh, this is a political statement. Identifying as a way or a race or a creed or a sexuality preference is not a statement.
No, it's not.
It's
And
who you are.
exactly,
So that we went on a tangent on that, but
we
I was
did.
glad to have you on that.
Yeah.
There's some news we got to get
Oh, there's
through.
a bit of news we got to get through, and we definitely
There's
have
quite a
to talk about the Game Awards as well.
Oh yeah, we do. Now I'm gonna do the bit where you absolutely hate, where I read to you.
Let's do it.
So let's
Strap
start.
in, strap
This first
in.
thing's this first thing's really cool because it was born of kind of something that really tragic that occurred in the industry, which is Telltale's dissolution. It was very sudden, but there is a bittersweet kind of sun patch in this whole endeavor. So let's talk about it real quick. The final season of Telltale's Walking Dead continues next month. Capping off last Saturday's Kind of Funny Game Showcase, really, really cool event that they held, by the way, that they did
That's awesome.
because PSX got canceled, and they're like, oh wow,
I heard.
all of the indie devs that would kind of depend on a show like that for exposure, let's get them on board on our shit, and let's do like just a big old highlight reel for them. And it was
Which I
cool.
love.
They so many cool fucking games that we knew about, games we didn't know about. Ape Out is coming out in February, which is amazing. I've been wondering what the fuck happened to Ape Out. And then Boyfriend Dungeon got a shout out on there too. I
Oh,
told you
yes,
about that.
please. Oh,
Boyfriend
give me
Dungeon
Boyfriend
looks
Dungeon.
so good.
I need
Diablo and a dating sim together.
Okay,
What?
let's put it this way. I
Yeah.
play so many dating sims in like in the best way. Like I think I've talked to you about like Monster Prom and how much I love it, and like things like Doki Doki Literature Club, and Diablo is one of the few games that I have like for my PS4 as like a physical copy. So I need Boyfriend Dungeon like yesterday.
I got my hands on it at PAX, and it is a
Oh,
lot of fun, and it's very like kind of nascent stage because it was still being funded. But I'm excited about that. But that's besides the point. Good job, kind of funny, by the way. These guys definitely inspired me and Daniel to start the safe room. So I'm proud to see them grow to this. Like they started in a room, kind of like me and Daniel, and grew to have a studio, and they're doing a fucking showcase for the industry. It's good to see positive impact. So
isn't
there you
that
go.
inspiring?
Isn't it just? But let's get back to The Walking Dead. So, capping off last Saturday's Kind of Funny Game Showcase, there we go, was a surprise trailer for The Walking Dead, the final season. Broken Toys is the third of four episodes originally planned to end the series, but Telltale's surprisingly sudden closure halted development on the finale. Skybound Games, an offshoot of Robert Kirkman's Skybound Entertainment, promised it would finish the season, but not before acquiring ex-Telltale talent to help. Skybound wrote on their blog, quote, "We're extremely thankful to the team working on this game to make sure the season is finished with the quality the game and the fans deserve. We are hashtag still not bitten," end quote, which is what Clementine says in the series.
Yes.
All seasons of The Walking Dead, which were previously yanked by Telltale, have returned to digital storefronts after. Well, Skybound saying that they returned them. Hang on, I fucked up that whole part because I think I didn't edit it correctly. Hang on, all seasons of Walking Dead, which were previously yanked, have returned to digital storefronts, with the exception. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Skybound also stated that all seasons of The Walking Dead, which were previously yanked by Telltale, have returned to digital storefronts with the exception of PC. Episode 3 arrives January 15th. Where are you at with the Walking Dead series?
So I didn't play the most recent season.
No one did.
Um, but I am absolutely going to download everything as soon as I can because this is a series very near and dear to my heart. I think that it's probably one of the best narratively designed games I've ever played, and the dissolution of Telltale was absolutely heartbreaking for several different reasons. But I think the fact that they are bringing back the people who initially worked on it, the people who were let go so unceremoniously, I think that's honorable.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's it's a hard thing because it's like the question is like, all right, what's going to happen to these employees after? But and there's a lot of people that weren't involved with Walking Dead where they're not affected. They don't have jobs right now, or they're still searching, or they're still struggling right now from it. So it's a bittersweet thing because it is a capper to the game that kind of brought Telltale to the forefront. But at the same time, it's a finale. It's not just a finale of The Walking Dead. It's the true finale of Telltale, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes it just feel just heavier walking into it. I'm into it. I definitely want to see this series out. Like you, I didn't engage with season 3. I played season 1, loved it, just was in
The
awe by it.
best.
Right. Season 2 was like, okay, kind of.
I was there for it.
I was there for it, but I was missing. It was missing some of that impact that I wanted there, and also it didn't connect very well with that in between story that they did. I think it was like Walking Dead 400 Days that they released,
Yes.
and I was like, yeah, a few of the characters showed up in there. I was like, but some of them die, some of them don't. I'm like, I don't know that I should care about these because obviously we know like Clementine's the hero,
Right.
so that's the one we're following. But and then 3, I don't know anything about 3, but 4 was so interesting because yeah, it's the ending. Uh, what do you think, like going forward, the what we're gonna see, like any kind of learnings from Telltale in the industry, kind of like drip through at like like their narrative style, because that was one of the things that they said when the studio shut down. Where it's like, well, we're hopefully these people will be seated throughout the industry.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that the people who were let go find a foothold in the industry because I mean not only were they talented, but I think that that kind of storytelling is necessary. I think the way that storytelling has been done in the past has been so myopic and so narrow, and it needs to be
Mm-hmm.
expanded. And I think the reception to the way that, you know, this studio was broken and the way that things ended, I think people will see, you know, we do value this kind of storytelling. This is important to fans. So this is something that we should be nurturing.
Yeah,
At
for
least
sure.
I hope. I hope so.
Yeah, so episode 3, that is going to be coming out January 15th. I probably still gonna wait for the whole collection to come out.
Yeah,
Uh,
me too.
just play it as in just one shot because I remember
But I
that
will
that's
get
how I
it
love
though.
playing those. Yeah,
Yeah, but I
definitely,
will get it.
definitely. Hey, guess what?
What?
We're gonna be talking about Todd Howard real soon.
Oh God, Todd fucking Howard.
Not an episode goes
Not
by
a
these
single one.
days.
So Kevin is rubbing this in my face because I am a steady listener of this podcast. I am a fan because it's good content and I love these soft boys.
Oh wow,
But
it's nice of
I
you.
But listen,
Yeah. Oh.
I called him out on mentioning Todd Howard in every single episode, and I think he did this just to rub it in my face. Listeners, go to the polls. Tell me what you think.
Well, fucking Todd needs to stop, like, stealing candy from babies and kicking puppies. Get out of the news. Take a vacation. We're
That is
back
going to
at
be
it.
that is going to be a new mini game in Fallout where you just play as Todd and it's just like a first person perspective of you just like stealing from children and knocking over strollers and
Nothing would make me happier. I would
not even an absolutely perfect Resident Evil 2 like
if
pristine first edition copy would make you happier.
nope. Playing as Todd Howard. Just being like Dennis the Menace, run amok, would be the most gleeful game I could ever touch.
Oh my
Here
god.
we go. Bethesda accidentally leaked customer info online. Todd,
Jesus Christ.
Todd, Todd,
Oh
Todd.
my god.
Bethesda's not having a happy holiday. Fallout
No.
76 has been a critical and commercial catastrophe for the company, and that mess was compounded by a falsely advertised canvas bag supposed to have been included in the game's $200 collector's edition. Fans felt duped when they discovered the packaging or the bag that was packaged was actually made of cheap nylon. It was kind of like an IKEA bag.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So to stymie the PR backlash, Bethesda began coordinating manufacturing plans to create the advertised bag and send them out to anyone that purchased a Power Armor edition. All customers had to do was submit a support ticket by January 31st to snag a replacement bag. Well, some customers who submitted a ticket said they were oddly given access to people's personal information through their Bethesda account. And by personal,
Jesus.
I mean names, addresses, and in some instances, partial credit card numbers. Oh, Todd. Oh my God, Todd.
Oh my god. Todd.
Karmically,
Todd.
karmically, no, cosmically, a bug caused the unfortunate leak. Could you imagine? Bethesda temporarily took their support site offline and the glitch has been fixed, but god damn, is that a shit cherry topper to an already shitty cake? What is going on? This
Oh
is
my
hard on the
god.
soul, essentially.
This is hard to hear. This is rough.
Now, I will say, like, I feel like we're in hyper mode, like our senses are heightened because of the dog pile that's happening on Fallout 76. So any ill doing that happens on Bethesda's part is going to turn into fucking headlines everywhere. But this is still pretty bad, though. I gotta say, it's still pretty bad.
I think if this had happened to any company, this would be major news.
If it happened like to fucking what Facebook just dropping everyone's information out there, hell yeah, people are
Can
gonna
you
fucking talk
imagine?
about it. Hasn't that happened
This-
actually?
I believe so. Honestly, probably yes.
Mark says no, and I trust Mark. He's a billionaire.
He's got lots of money. I think this is reprehensible. I mean, this is terrible. I work in support and I work in things like this, and I think you understand because you do
I
as
worked
well.
in support too.
So
Beforehand too, yeah.
So you understand the gravity of the situation. Like if someone
Yeah.
at work came up to you and told you that something like this was happening under your roof, a fire under your ass would light so big you would be kissing the ceiling. Like it would just.
You turned into a Looney Tunes cartoon, like right there in the spot. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is this is a disaster.
I mean, it sounds like it was approached very quickly, and I'm sure as soon as it was noticed, they were like in their fire extinguishers in the server room, and Todd was fucking kicking puppies again. But it's not a good time. It's not a good look for Bethesda right now. It seems like they got holes in their ship at the moment, and
So
I have to wonder how systemic this is. How long running behind the scenes has it been a shit show? Because we had the no clip kind of behind the scenes of Fallout 76 where we got to hear about the creative side and the vision and this and that, but we don't have like the Jason Schreier point of view where it's like, what the fuck is really going on, my guys? Like what?
so what do you think they need to do to come back from all of these mistakes that have been piling up under their name?
Gotcha. It's a lot of putting out fires, and you just got to do it. You just have to absolutely bend over backwards, make things right. Manufacturing the bag. I mean, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But
Exactly.
damn, do you got to do it anyway, even if people still criticize you? Because the first thing that I thought was, how come you couldn't manufacture that before you sent these damn things out?
Agreed.
But I'm sure it was probably an 11 o'clock error, like right before launch or something, that like they got the bad news. But somebody knew, like we talked about it in the last episode, somebody knew that this was going to happen and just failed to act, or had a gentleman's agreement behind the scenes that let's just see how loud they bark, and if it's not that bad, whatever. But unfortunately for them, Fallout 76 was a goddamn shit show, and people are barking.
Got that right.
So you have to keep on doing the damage control, keep on fixing Fallout 76 to a serviceable state, and maybe lay low with some plans for a while. Like maybe wait a little bit before you start talking about Starfield and such, because people are gonna fucking just lace these errors and these mistakes together, and
Yeah.
what it's gonna do is it's gonna tamper their excitement for your projects. Because I'm already like, I don't give a shit about Starfield because I don't think I have to wait like fucking a year and a half for it to even be playable.
It's not even on your radar at this point.
Yeah, not really. So what do you think? What do you want to see from Bethesda for them to win back your trust? Because you were a fan of Skyrim and like Elder Scrolls and such, right?
I loved. I mean, I played a lot of Skyrim. I played Oblivion. I did play a little Morrowind. Back in the day, some Baldur's Gate.
What? You okay? Sorry, there's some distortion.
Have you not heard all of the different ways that people try to pronounce that game?
Baldur's.
Yeah, exactly. It's a disaster. I do love their product, but I think that it needs to be a lot of attention to detail about what the fans are genuinely asking for, and I think a lot of that's going to come down to exactly what you said. I mean, I think you hit it on the head when you said there just needs to be a lot of damage control from here on out, and a lot of approaching things with more with their head on their shoulders, to say the least.
Yeah, and definitely more transparency, more engagement with your community. I think they're actually like honestly trying to give that a go, because they talked about they have a community team that's going to be much more responsive and kind of vocal about what's going on behind the scenes, especially when it pertains to updates for Fallout 76. But just keep on going that direction. But I'm so afraid they're just going to abandon Fallout 76,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they'd be right to do it. Like just get it to where it doesn't fucking crash every time people launch it. And then after like about a year, goodbye, we're going to move on to something. Because obviously I don't know how much more money that they can sink into it, but it's not like it's the first time that we've seen something launch and be a shit show, and then it has a triumphant second coming. Final Fantasy 14 is one of the biggest examples of that. And to an extent, No Man's Sky kind of had a second coming as well, where it's like, hey, we finally met the expectation for it, but I think that's going to be very hard for them, because this is a very, very public, very visible kind of fuck up. You know, it's
Yeah.
definitely a fuck up, but they just need to keep on trucking, Todd. Keep on trucking.
Keep
I'll
on checking.
so next thing I got on here, and it's kind of a twofer for you because, well, it's a special time with Resident Evil 2, the remake. A little over a month away from releasing. I'm very excited. There's nothing but Resident Evil news coming our way. It's so good. And I got to talk about it. And of course I talk about it.
Please do.
Because I love it.
Because I just love it. We know. So
I
go
love
on.
you, Capcom. I love you, Capcom. Anyway, the Resident Evil movie reboot has found its director. Constantin Films has tapped Johannes Roberts to both write and direct the reboot, which is proposed as the first of 6 new films based on Capcom's survival horror simulator.
My
Ow.
God, 6 films?
Yeah, what are you doing? Johannes has tangled with horror in the past, having directed 47 Meters Down and The Strangers Pray at Night. It's unclear if Roberts will be using any material from Greg Russo's script, which was said to be heavily influenced by Resident Evil 7, which is a very sad state of affairs if he doesn't use that script. On a previous episode, we misreported that James Wan was set to direct. The serialized horror filmmaker is only attached as a producer. Apologies to the Wan estate, Capcom, and anyone that ever sat through any of Paul W.S. Anderson's films. Just because on that one. So I think that the series needed an absolute reboot because we went far too deep into Paul W.S. Anderson's, hey, look at my wife kick dogs. The franchise.
You're not wrong.
Didn't you see like 1 or 2 of those with me?
I've seen way too many, let's put it that way. So what do you want from these films?
Oh, man. So what we reported last week is that Greg Russo was saying like, hey, I enjoyed the actiony films that with Mila Jovovich, but that's not my direction. For me, the series has always been horror first, action as a supplement. And I was like, fucking round of applause for this man. Holy shit. And now I'm kind of like, ugh, because this guy's coming in, and while he does have kind of a solid track record when it comes to horror, apparently 47 Meters Down, which is about sisters stuck in a shark cage at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know how that one slipped my radar. I need to see that immediately. And then the Strangers sequel I heard was very stylistic and actually a kind of a great successor to the first film. So I want to see him cut his teeth on this and bring that kind of like that horror mindset to it. That's all I want. I don't need it to be about specific characters. I don't need it to be like a 1-for-1 of the Raccoon City Mansion incident. I don't need that. What I need is that take that Castlevania approach, for instance, kind of give me like the characters and the mood and the setting and do something kind of original and cool with it that still feels like you're respectful to the tone and why we like the originals to begin with. Not this fucking backflip, red dressed apocalypse-a-thon that occurred. You know?
So you don't want to see some other actress wearing a similar outfit doing the exact same thing, but with better special effects?
I'll fucking just, I won't give a shit the moment that they're like, oh yeah, we're kind of doing an Alice character again. I'll be like, that's not what I'm here for, man. That's not what I'm here for.
Decision. Yeah. I think they need to identify what makes the games great and go from there.
Right, but like they wouldn't be wrong to go the Alice approach because the Resident Evil films are the most successful video game adaptations in history. They've made the most money. Like I think combined the movies are like inching toward $1 billion collectively when it comes to gross. Wow.
So that's just another reason to not want to call yourself a gamer.
There you go. There's a disengagement. I got some more Capcom for you, Jess, because you asked for it. Here it is. God. Capcom might already be working on a Resident Evil 3 remake. Now, the rumor comes our way from a Reset Error post. In a thread musing on what Capcom could remake next, moderator Dusk Gollum, where do you find these? Responded that the company is all hands on deck for a remake of 1999's Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Mr. Gollum said, quote, I'm keeping my lips sealed on anything else, so don't ask. Remake 3 is in full development right now. I think beyond that, they're waiting to see how Remake 2 and Remake 3 perform, but Remake 2 almost assuredly is going to perform well. End quote. Now, there's some credence here because previously Capcom had expressed interest in remaking their older titles, going as far to say that remaking the remake of Resident Evil wouldn't be laughable. I mean, I would giggle, but I would also buy it, so fuck me. However, there is no word if Capcom will ever get over their crippling cowardice and finally remake Dino Crisis.
Oh my god, it's true.
I mean, barring that, I will accept a remake of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Obscure, but it was awesome. Do you know what that is at all, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs? Nobody does.
I feel like you just made that up.
No, I did not. It's actually based on a comic series that turned into like a kids animated show, and Capcom made a video game, a Final Fight style beat 'em up based on the animated show, and it was amazing because it was like fucking hillbillies beating up like motherfuckers and riding dinosaurs. It needs to be back.
Did this take place in Florida?
Just another day in Florida, the game.
Well, I play the fuck out of that.
So, Resident Evil 3, I have feelings.
Tell me, please.
Well, I always like to remind people, because I'm a colossal fucking nerd, that Resident Evil 3 is actually a spin-off. It is not a true sequel to Resident Evil 2. But because Capcom had a contractual obligation with Sony to have another numbered release on the PlayStation, they just called that motherfucker Part 3. That's what they did.
Wouldn't you?
I would too. I'd be like, okay, cool. 3. Contract's over, bitches. Like, I would do the exact
and we're done
same
here.
thing. But what we got was the game is shorter. It's actually, I don't feel it's as content laden as Part 2 is. Part 2 actually had 2 discrete campaigns for Leon and Claire, which the remake is going to do as well. Whereas Part 3 was all about Jill, and then we had some chapters where you played as a character called Carlos Oliveira, who was technically working for Umbrella, but he had a heart of gold, so he was like, fuck Umbrella.
Okay.
What's up? Go ahead.
No, I mean, he's not wrong. He's
not wrong. Fuck Umbrella. He's right. Look what they did to the city. Can't get a good hoagie anymore because they fucking set off zombies everywhere. But it's a shorter game, but it does go to cool places. The hospital's introduced there. You go to Raccoon City Town Hall, which is pretty cool. It's also kind of confusing that just normal places in Raccoon City have very archaic, convoluted puzzles in order to just open up gates. That it kind of stretches the concept a little thin, where it made sense for the Raccoon City Police Department because it was like, oh yeah, this has deep roots in Umbrella and shit, and it also used to be an art museum. Don't ask. Don't ask.
Just go with it. Just go with it.
Yeah, just go with it. But I think it's opportunity if they were to remake it. They could actually expand on the concept a bit, maybe flesh it out, maybe show us what Jill was doing before the game started, because it runs concurrently with Part 2. And she actually visits the Raccoon City Police Department before Leon and Claire actually get there. So I think there's some subversion, some fun that you can have there to really flesh it out. But I just kind of wonder, because the source material is shorter than what the second remake is playing with. So I don't know. I'm for it though. I'm not going to say no.
Wouldn't kick it out of bed.
I wouldn't kick it out of bed. I don't know. Are you think you're going to play any of these upcoming Resident Evil games?
I am. I'm going to play 2.
You're going to play 2? No shit. No shit.
I told you. I no always shit. Told you.
You ain't fooling? Yes, you ain't fooling?
I always told you. I said when they remake it, that's when I'll be able to play it, because I couldn't deal with the way the controls were before. But I will be able to play this remake.
But you legit said this 8 years ago to me, so fuck
I know.
You.
It was. I'm making good. Okay, after all this time.
I just think I'm afraid that Capcom might run into a wall at a certain point, because then it's like, oh, well, the logical conclusion or the logical next step would be to remake Code Veronica. And I'm going to put up a stop sign right there.
Now, why's that?
Oh, here it goes. Here it goes, guys. I'm the biggest Resident Evil fan out there. I'm not a big fan of Code Veronica. It stars Claire. I love Claire, but it's the first instance of, wow, the story really jumped the fucking shark. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of anime-esque. It's very over the top. Wesker's back. That's the first instance of Wesker coming back from the dead, and his introduction is not great. And it was kind of like the first step toward the really just over the top. This is a Michael Bay ripoff that Resident Evil 5 became and bled into 6, where they had to do that hard reboot with part 7 essentially and go like, or it was more of a conceptual reboot, but they kept the continuity. Good on you, Capcom. So I think they're just going to hit a wall, like, and then they're going to start asking themselves questions like, do we remake 4? And I would argue probably the fuck not. 4 was a time and place kind of game. It's a benchmark game, and I think it's one of the best games ever made. But I don't see you making a remake that just misses the mark. You know, like I don't think it can be done. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll defer to you on these things. I trust your opinion on Resident Evil.
I shouldn't be trusted, but thank you. Now, I do want to talk to you about this next thing because it's very interesting and it delves into something that I kind of have a blind spot for, which comes to using Steam and PC community. So I would love to get your inputs on this. Here it goes. Epic launches their own online store to rival Steam. Ho ho! Now, I just wanted to add like some Jerry Springer sound effects and stuff to this edit.
Oh my God.
Ooh. Okay, anyway. Epic Games, purveyors of the Unreal Engine, Fortnite, and once upon a time ago, Gears of War, starring everyone's favorite thick soldiers, has launched the Epic Games Store. The storefront will be available through the web or straight from the Epic Games launcher. Hint, that's what you use to play Fortnite on PC. The store will house games big and small, publisher-backed and self-published, as well as mods and free-to-play titles. Epic's revenue cut will be 12% on the nose, far less than Steam's 30% cut, which is all the more noteworthy since Valve recently announced they will take less of a revenue share, but only for multi-million-dollar selling games. That's not a good look, sweetheart. That's not good, nope. Valve. Valve, that's not, baby. No, honey boo. The selection is scant right now, but Epic is promising to sweeten the deal by releasing a new game for free every 2 weeks. The underwater hellscape of Subnautica and the protein-based platformer Super Meat Boy are the first freebies. Supergiant's newly announced Hades is an early access exclusively on Epic service right now, and the PlayStation exclusive Journey is making its PC debut there as well. With deep roots in the industry and deeper pockets thanks to Fortnite, expect to see more exclusive partnerships and deals like this in the future. Take it away. What do you think? Somebody is trying to eat Valve's lunch.
I see that. So a lot of people have a kind of a stigma against Steam because, I mean, you said it yourself, it's taking quite a chunk out of the pockets of the people who are putting their games up for sale on there. I mean, if you're an indie developer, you only have so much money to begin with. And the fact that Steam takes a nice little portion for themselves makes this deal with Epic sound a lot more appetizing.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's definitely going to be a pull, definite draw. In fact, I was reading through some of the reports here. There are companies that are pulling their games from Steam in favor of Epic. That's
Correct.
happening.
I've definitely read that.
That's business, baby.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
The thing is, while Valve may be just kind of frowning very hard at this, this is a boon for consumers. It's good to have market competition. That's always been the case. It's why we don't just defer to Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo exclusively, because they make each other better and they do things that kind of push things forward. I think this pushes things forward. I think we're going to see some interesting stuff, and option and variety is never a bad thing for the consumers, but I can definitely see there are some hard conversations that are probably occurring behind the scenes at Valve right now.
I agree. And I think what is going to be good for the developers is going to be good for the consumers. I think at the end of the day, these people who are going to be uploading their games to the Epic store, whatever. What does it have a name?
Yeah, it's just the Epic Game Store.
Okay.
Not for lack of imagination, maybe just a branding at that point.
Fair enough, but there have been people who have been kicked off of Steam Greenlight and things like that might be able to find a home here, and this is going to be opening new doors for them. And I think some of the best indie games that have come out are non-traditional, and I think that's what makes Steam special. But I think even games that are turned away from Steam might have an opportunity to blossom here, and I think we might be seeing some really special things come out of this platform in a couple years.
I think another attractive prospect, especially for indie developers or any developer at this point, is that kind of the freedom that Epic is giving them, where they're allowed to actually maintain their own pages for their games. The Epic will not put any just advertisements on there, which Steam does do.
Correct.
And they also will allow them to kind of self-manage their own forums and communities. So whereas Steam has the Steam forums, Epic's like, no, you can just link to yours and you do that yourself and you can moderate it how you want rather than being thrown into the bullpen of the larger bullpen. So that I think that's going to be a very interesting thing. And I think that might be, especially since it's so young, it launched time of release of this podcast, it launched last week. I think people are going to see an opportunity and say, hey, I can engage with a fan base that wouldn't have heard me on Steam, that wouldn't have found my game.
Correct. It's exciting.
It's gonna be good shit. Yeah, I want it to happen. And I think Epic is in a position because they're rich as fuck.
It's true.
Kind of do what they want and do interesting things. They can be that crazy, passionate, rich guy, that's just like, I'm just gonna fucking give to the poor. Why not?
Why not? And it'll ultimately be better. Epic. Oh my God, please do not go. But I think it's gonna ultimately be better in the long run. And I think I'm one of those people who spends more money on Steam than I do on PSN or Xbox Live or something like that. But yeah. I'm not loyal to Steam. I'm loyal to indie games. So I'll go where they go.
Yeah, honestly, then that's always been kind of my argument when people start drawing lines in the sand about like, I'm on PC only, I'm on PS4 only. It's like, I go where there are games and I go where there are good games, especially. I'm kind of agnostic in that way, but I love this hobby. And I'm like, no, that, like I was saying earlier in the podcast, there's something for everyone out there. Don't fucking, this is a good thing. This is going to be a different kind of curation. It's going to be, I think they're going to run into the same kind of problems over time that maybe Steam had to have identified and be the pioneer on. But I think they should learn from those examples as well. So they have more of an advantage in a way because they're able to watch Steam start and grow and make mistakes and have success and such. So we will see how Epic takes that shit.
I'm looking forward to it.
Now, you want to get into the main event?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Jeff Keighley's annual Game Awards occurred, and we had some great moments. We had some, well, not very many cringy moments, unfortunately. Maybe like one or two.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, like the guy from Way Out was very, like the director of the game, he was very subdued this year, unfortunately, where last year he was like, fuck the Academy, fuck the Oscars. It was the greatest shit. I love that shit. Now, the funny thing is, Keighley did it. He fucking did it. He got Reggie Fils-Aimé on stage. He got Philly Spencer on stage. He got Sean, I'm going to throw a PS Vita into your spine, Layden on the stage together. The Trinity. And you know what they announced?
That they were all going to make out.
Well, yeah, it could have been that. They announced nothing. They just kind of showed up. Daniel asked me, he was like, oh, what game were they promoting? I was like, they were just promoting gaming.
They were just there to just talk and be happy.
I don't know how to say. They were united by Fortnite. Epic is going to be a true winner of the console wars. So there are some highlights. There were a lot of celebrities, and I know that question always kind of comes. How do you feel about that? Because they had like Christoph Waltz, Waltz on the stage and whatnot. And I saw on my timeline people just going like, why not a dev? Why not somebody in the industry presenting these awards?
I feel like when they do things like that, they're trying to garner the attention of people who wouldn't necessarily be watching the Games Awards. But it's like, why do you care about those people? Like, you are not going to get somebody to start playing video games by showing them an award show. Like, that's just not going to work.
Yeah, like precisely. It's like you have a draw, and I'm not sure who you're drawing in.
Exactly. Like, I don't
like bragging rights for your show at that point. Like, I'm not sure.
And I want to hope that like some of the celebrities they bring on, like part of me wants to think that these people ask to be on it. Like maybe Christoph Waltz just fucking loves Nintendo. Like you have no idea. He is the biggest Nintendo head. Like he loves like Smash Brothers, and he's got like a lineup that he picks from. But ultimately, I really don't think it's that. I think it's just them trying to put
Well,
a little bit of
my dude was actually making PC Master Race jokes on stage, so he knew
yeah,
he
that
knew
is the most
something.
entry level like joke you could be making about video games. Like
Yeah,
they sell like gaming pads with that at Walmart. I want to think it's something else, but ultimately I know they're just trying to put a little bit of like glitz and glamour on top of it and try to make it a little bit special.
they've always done that. Like Sam Jackson was like hosting the show when it was on Spike TV still, and they always. I mean, go ahead, do your thing if you need to have to draw. And there's also criticisms about the whole like it's the only award show that I've ever heard of that actually interrupts itself to like make announcements about essentially just displaying commercials on
Pretty much.
stage in between
Pretty much.
awards. And it's like, yeah, I get that. And I don't know if that's like really just a pulse check for where the industry is at because it's such it's a consumer product. It's a commercial product.
It's a
It's
good
not
way of
just
putting it.
art. It's commercial art.
There you go.
Like it's not necessarily art for the sake of art. And it's not necessarily something that's like, it needs to be disparaged as a toy. It's like it's nebulous almost. And
Mm.
that's why people argue about like what are we really saying? But overall, I really do think like Jeff does care about Jeff Lee Keighley, by the way. He really does. He really does care about what he's doing. He cares about this industry and whatever amount of collusion that he has with these publishers to wrangle them together and get shit like Sean Layden and Reggie and the other dude,
The other dude.
the one with the doofy face,
Yeah, I know.
the t-shirts and what's it, Philip Spencer.
It's like you're just talking about yourself. I don't understand.
Oh, what the fuck? White guy. He wears gaming t-shirts.
Oh wait.
Jeans? Oh no.
Oh no.
But I think there's still something cool behind it where it's like we at least get a chance, no matter how overshadowed they are by gaming announcements, to display the work and effort of the teams that are actually behind the games, not just the marketing of it, essentially. So we have some announcements. We'll break it into announcements and also who actually won awards. So we're going to start with these announcements because, we're here for the commercials. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So
yeah, it's just like the Super Bowl.
Exactly. We'll speed through some of this shit. Not all of it needs a complete breakdown, but we'll get into it. The first thing that fucking surprised me, he actually got me shook a little. I was like, good job, Jeff. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order was announced. Now, it's being published by Nintendo. This is something that I missed because I was like fucking live tweeting and like watching the trailers at the same time and trying to take screenshots. I was being a fucking content create man. But Nintendo published it or is publishing it, and fucking Team Ninja is developing it. If you don't know, they did Dead or Alive, Ninja Gaiden, Neo, Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors. They know action games. Holy shit. There hasn't been a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game in a decade, since 2009.
And the fact that it's exclusive for the Switch.
I know, it's crazy and it looks great. Like, so the original games were like isometric perspective. This one's doing behind the shoulder, but it's still the same spirit where it's like you're going to be working in a team of 4 and you're going to be just beating up fucking villains and bad guys endlessly and combining your powers. And it's so cool. I love the games as a kid. I had them for PS2. It first came out, and then 360. And oh shit.
We definitely played it on the 360.
Yes, no, we definitely did actually, because that was like a demo disc or like a free disc that they gave with like the console at some point. So there was endless copies of this fucking game. It was pretty popular for something that just kind of went away. Now, what I love to see in this game is that so the Black Order is like kind of the children of Thanos, his generals, essentially. And they're in the comics, and we saw some of them in Infinity War, including Proxima Midnight and the other assholes. So what's really cool is that unlike Marvel versus Capcom Infinite, we're seeing X-Men, we're seeing callbacks to the actual comics. We're not just seeing like, oh, who's in the MCU movies, essentially. Like I like that.
Mhm.
That's it is the celebration of Marvel. So they're learning their lessons. Marvel Games, who's like attached to this, they're learning their lessons from Marvel versus Capcom Infinite, which was so fucking it was a low budget, surprisingly. I don't know if
Hmm.
you saw anything from this game.
No.
The art was bad, the roster was disappointing, and a lot of it was rehashed materials from the previous Marvel vs. Capcom game. It was a disappointment.
Hmm.
So I'm glad they're learning on that front. I was actually surprised it's coming out. I think you should get it.
I mean, if I get a Switch, hell fucking yeah.
You should fucking get it. Okay, we need to speed through though. That is like I would say my second favorite thing that I heard from the Game Awards, but we'll get to my first later. Okay, so
Ooh.
number 2 on here, McLaren Car Pack is coming to Rocket League. So go tell your dad it's available or whatever. Let's skip to
Huh.
number 3.
Next.
Far Cry New Dawn. Ooh. So it's a
Ooh.
standalone spin-off set in Hope County, which is the setting of Far Cry 5 after the nuclear bomb drops in America. Sorry, that's a spoiler for 5. Oops.
Oh. Oh.
Oops. It releases February 15th and will be $39.99. It's not quite a sequel and it's not quite an expansion. It's bigger than an expansion, or maybe they're just saying that to get $40 out of you, whatever.
Hmm.
I'm interested. I forgot that I played Far Cry 5.
A blip in your memory.
No, like legit. I was thinking back and I was like, that didn't come out in 2018. That was dead. Oh, it
Oh. Oh
did.
my god.
Yeah, I'm starting. It's not a bad game. It does everything it sets out to do well. It's just kind of unfortunate that I've played that exact game 4 times previously. Starting
Well.
with 3, going the Blood Dragon, going the 4, going the Primal, and then 5. So yeah, kind of stamps out my excitement for it because you look at Assassin's Creed and they are doing interesting things and really kind of playing with the formula that advance it forward, with Origins and Odyssey, and Far Cry is still kind of just Far Cry.
So, do you think you'll pick it up?
Yeah, probably. I like Far Cry. I do, and I think this looks cool. And I think they have like kind of a void to fill right here because Fallout 76 was such a disappointment. Post-apocalyptic fans will latch on to whatever just plays well. That's all they have to
Yep,
do. They're like,
it's
hey,
true.
it's Fallout, but it plays well and turns on.
It boots up.
The next one you're excited about, Hades,
Yes,
was announced. It's from Super Giant Games, the developers of Bastion and Transistor. It is set in ancient Greece. It's an isometric action RPG, and that was the one that's available early access right now on the Epic Game Store. Are you gonna pick this shit
I
up?
want it. I need it. I love almost everything that Supergiant has ever come out with. I never got to finish Bastion, but I've played Transistor twice, and I absolutely adore it. And if it's anything like that, then I'm going to love Hades. And I mean, you watched, I mean, and you've seen some of what they're coming out with so far. And to be honest, I mean, it looks incredible.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of just a continuation of everything we know Supergiant for, which is interesting music, the
Yep,
kind of blend of story and gameplay. I want it. I'm there for it.
I'm
I
here.
I'm so into it. And okay, so you didn't play Pyre then, right?
I didn't. That's why I was like, almost everything.
Right. Pyre was weird. That one just wasn't my taste. It was kind of their take on a competitive sports game, oddly enough,
Hmm.
but still have had like heavy story and lore going on there. People that had played it said it was great. I played like a demo at PAX and I was like, oh no, that's not what I
Oh,
like.
oh no.
But Hades looks exactly like what I like, and I usually buy what I like. So
Yes, they will be getting my money.
yes, Supergiant, it's yours. The next one on here is Scavengers. It's actually it's a new IP. It's a multiplayer survival shooter from newcomers Midwinter Entertainment, which I found out is located in Seattle, Washington. So I can knock
Hmm.
on the door and be like, "Hey, can I play your game, dude? Hey, dude, I'll play your game, dude." Beta test will begin in 2019. One of 15 space shooters announced at the Game Awards this year. It seemed like it was an
Jesus.
endless supply of them, all except for Borderlands 3. Like everyone thought that was going to be announced at the Game Awards, and like, nah, nope, nope.
No.
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
At this point, Borderlands 2 came out in such a different ecosystem that I
I don't know if a third one is. I don't know.
I don't know what it could do that a Destiny or a Division or other games that are kind of taking the same mantle are doing well right now, or Anthem. Like it's coming out in a crowded space. I have to wonder about that.
Yeah.
I wonder about it.
I'm just worried.
Jess, I'm just wondering. I'm worried about it. No. Now, this one was exciting for people that like Bandicoots. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled was announced. It's a remastered version of CTR Crash Team Racing. Oh, imagine that. Which will
Hmm.
include online multiplayer. Apparently, it was only announced for the PS4, despite the fact the Crash Trilogy came out on everything, including the Switch.
Hmm.
I don't know what's going on there, but whatever. I know Tim Geddes of Kind of Funny lost his fucking mind to the point where he spilled coffee on Andy Cortez's computer and destroyed it, his
Oh my
laptop.
god.
Yep. So there's already one casualty from this game, and I don't know how many more it will claim going forward. You ever play this one? I didn't play any of them.
No, I've never played it. However, I do know it. I mean, this was one of those games that was like being played at my daycare that would get fought over, where I would just say, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna go play Pokemon in the corner and wait for you guys to be done fighting."
Mario Kart's better. Fuck y'all.
It's like I'll be over here, thanks, guys. No, so you've never played them either.
No, I don't think I played Crash on the PS1, and I didn't play CTR. Definitely didn't play CTR. I Neither did I really play Spyro games, and I know that's really shocking for a lot of '90s kids out there that grew up with it. I was playing Gex, man.
I played a little Spyro. Played a little
Did
bit
you
of
really?
Spyro there.
Are you
Yeah, a
excited
little
for
bit.
the remastering, the rekindled?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if I can afford it after I buy a Switch and everything I want for it. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the next one on here is very exciting. It was the Outer Worlds. We
Hmm.
kind of got hints about this before, and what it it is Obsidian's open world shooter, which looks to be set on a rustic planet, eating Borderlands lunch again. It launches in 2019. It is not an Xbox exclusive, as this game was in development before Microsoft acquired the studio. Interesting tidbit. It's being made for Take-Two. We are legally obligated to mention Obsidian previously developed Fallout New Vegas, and its founders worked on the original Fallout games before Todd broke his dick off in the series.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
this one looks actually very cool. One thing that people kind of noted that's missing from Bethesda's Fallouts is this kind of tongue-in-cheek sarcasm, very wry sarcasm that Fallout 1 and 2 had, because that's kind of Obsidian style, or when they were Interplay making those games before they branch off to Obsidian. That's them. And the trailer showed that. It showed just, you know, kind of a wry humor, and it's not in your face kind of shit like Borderlands is, which got kind of grating on me after a while.
A lot of people have said that.
Well, when you have fucking dialogue in your ear every 3 seconds, like it just gets to a certain point where it's like, hey, we're
A
good.
lot of the missions become repetitive when you're just repeatedly being asked to do ludicrous shit, like go find like a little person and strap a bomb to their head or something like that. Like it just ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, and having the quest giver like scream at you the entire time while you go do that.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, so I that's why I would like to see Obsidian's kind of take on that style of shooter.
Yeah,
And I have to wonder if they're going to do any kind of like co-op or anything like that. That would be pretty cool.
I'm here for
I'm
it.
into it. I'm here for it too. I'm here for it. Now, the next one on here is The Last Campfire. This one's being developed by Hello Games. They did No Man's Sky, and it looks a lot like Journey Light, essentially. I don't know if you saw anything from this one. It kind of is a little artful style. It seems like it'd be a quick, like, in a single sitting kind of game.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
I don't hate games like that. I don't mind it.
yeah, I think for them especially, they definitely, because they are an indie studio, and they made like Joe Danger back in the day, and then they took on that huge project of No Man's Sky, despite being what we like to call lightweight.
Ooh.
Lightweight when it comes to staffing. And then, I could see them definitely just wanting to go for a smaller thing to get out, kind of flex their muscle, but not have to spend 5, 6, 7 years on. That makes sense to me. If
Fair.
it's cool, I'll pick it up. If it's cool, I'll pick it up. It looks like something that should be on the Switch. Anyway, the next thing on here is that PUBG is getting a winter map. I never played it, so I don't really care. But hey,
Same.
interesting. Jordan Vaught Roberts, who did Kong Skull Island and is apparently directing the Metal Gear Solid movie, directed a really dope short film based on the game. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't.
No, it was cool. It was well shot. The action was great. Essentially had a guy plop into a battlefield. I forget what song they had on there, but it was pretty fucking jamming. My dude just has a pan and he's just smacking people in the face. And it was interesting how he got around not showing people getting just shot directly, like clever camera angles that imply that, oh yeah, somebody got gunned down, but this is still fun. So that was
okay.
About that. I probably will play PUBG. I think me and Daniel decided that battle royale games are probably not for us.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Next thing on here is Ashen. It's a Souls-like developed by Aurora 44. It launched day and date of the show, and it was also one of the ones that is on exclusive to Epic Game Store.
You like games like that?
I like the hard games. Yeah. No, I definitely do. This one looked pretty cool. It's got a cool kind of style to it, and I know I think Waypoint Games was kind of shouting it out as well. And I was like, okay, so I'll check it out. Anyway,
nice.
The next thing on here is a big thing for BioWare fans, but we only know it as the Dreadwolf Rises. But we all know it's really Dragon Age 4.
We all know.
We just got a short teaser narrated by everyone's favorite egghead, Solus, and we got nothing else. It literally didn't show gameplay. It didn't even really have an animatic to it besides showing a title and some voiceover.
Honestly, that's all it needed because fans of the series are already losing their minds over it.
Right. And it's like, I wonder if they kind of watched what happened with Blizzard and how they didn't show off a Diablo 4 teaser of the same nature where it's just like a fucking title card and maybe some voiceover. And we're just like, we got to do something. So here we go. So
we must.
Where are you at these days with BioWare games? Because I know we talked about you're big on Mass Effect, but Andromeda was kind of a dud out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm actually going to go back and replay that at some point because I want to see if maybe like the patching is maybe, made a dent in it. But, I love a BioWare game and I haven't really delved too far into the Dragon Age series. I did play the second one and a little bit of, I think, of the other one that came after it. I don't remember the one that was like an in-between one.
So there's Origins, which was the first one. I know that's confusing because it makes it seem like it's a prequel, but it's the first one. There's Dragon Age 2, and then there's Dragon Age Inquisition, which was the last kind of major one.
That's what it was. I did play Inquisition. They're okay. They don't grip me as much as Mass Effect, but I think I'm a little biased on the environment just because I just prefer sci-fi over like a medieval sort of thing. But so I'll play it. I'll check it out. Actually, I mean, why not? It looks like it might be promising from, some of the speculation I've heard fans making so far, but it's all kind of hush hush right now. We don't know much.
Yeah, I think the one thing that's kind of kept me out of really enjoying the Dragon Age series, because I played all of them. I just never beat a single one of them. I picked up Inquisition. It's the combat that kind of doesn't grip me because it really does feel like it's meant for mouse and keyboard. It's kind of way more tactical in that way rather than like making it feel like you're that kind of ebb and flow that you would find in Dark Souls or Witcher. That kind of grips me a little bit more with it. So if it had that, I would probably go straight through that game, be a huge fan of it. But otherwise, because I hear they're amazingly written, and what I did play, if it was like, no, this is kind of interesting what they're setting up. But otherwise,
we'll see what happens.
Do I hear your cat playing with something? What is that noise?
Yeah, that's her. I'm trying to just ignore her.
Okay. We will see what happens with that. Now, the next thing on here, I am massively excited for.
Oh, tell me.
Mortal Kombat 11 was shown off. Ed Boon revealed an incredibly gory announcement trailer, and the game is slated for April 23rd. 23rd. That is just after my birthday and just 5 months after its announcement, with a community reveal event set for January 17th. Now, the interesting thing is, it's coming to PS4, it's coming to Xbox One, it's coming to PC, and it's coming to Nintendo Switch. That
What?
one's a surprise. Yeah, those are pretty graphically intensive games, especially if you go off of like what 10 did on next gen consoles. But I guess they're doing a version for the Switch. The NetherRealm Studios sees the merit, and I don't think they're wrong for it. Take for instance, Dragon Ball Fighters was ported to the Switch because they're like, fuck, we got to be on there, we got to do
Yep.
it. Yeah, so this one, the trailer it showed Raiden fighting Scorpion in a very dilapidated environment. Actually, it was one of the levels from the original Mortal Kombat, but everyone was dead, where all the monks are in the background. Fucking the games get grimmer and grimmer as we go, like through and through. But Raiden best Scorpion, blowing his head up with electricity, and then suddenly behind him, an older version of Scorpion, who looks like he was from the original Mortal Kombat game, shows up and just fucking eviscerates the dude. And then we get this kind of big pan out of this woman with an hourglass. So they've played with time travel before in the narratives of the game, started with MK9 and going into MK10 did a huge like 20-year jump. I'm wondering if they're just playing with like pulling people from different time periods and how that's going to play into the gameplay, because I looked at Injustice 2. And the big change in Injustice 2 was that you're able to equip gear on your fighters to change their attributes. I'm wondering if it was like, hey, maybe you can change the attributes of your fighter based off of which timeline version of the character that we're
Oh,
talking about.
wow.
Are they from MK1, MK2, MK3? Like, that would be so fucking interesting. I wonder if they're
Wow, that would
going,
be fascinating.
yeah, because part 10 actually got rid of a lot of the older characters, brought back some of the famous ones, but introduced a new cast of characters. But I wonder if MK11 is going to be that same kind of everyone's here that Smash is doing.
All your old friends.
Yeah, I would be so into it.
Yeah.
I'm a big fucking fan of Mortal
You
Kombat.
love, and I actually really liked 10. Like, that was a really fun game with the tower. That was awesome.
Oh man, I feel like NetherRealm is above and beyond when it comes to fighting games.
So good.
Because they did the daily events, the weekly events, the faction wars were introduced in MK10, I believe.
That's how you keep fans coming back.
Hell yeah. There's so much to engage with, especially. And what they did is they actually catered to people that don't like to go online and fight other people. They actually catered to somebody just going, hey, I'm going to fight the bot, but there's interesting challenges for me to do it, and unlocks the entire way through. I think that's fucking great. That top level right there. I'm so excited for that one. The next one on here is, I think you might be a fan. Psychonauts 2 actually got its first trailer.
I've never played a Psychonauts game.
No? I thought you did.
No, I love the name though.
Lied to me.
I've never played it. I've never played a Psychonauts game. I've definitely. This is one of those games where I have watched people play it, but I've never had the controller in my hand and actually played it.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm in the same boat actually. I've never played Psychonauts.
Yeah, I've never really like I never owned it. I've just like I've had friends who loved it, and I've definitely seen them dive into it. And I have nothing against the game. I've just never had a chance.
Yeah, me neither. I know they brought it back out for PS4. I think a port or some sort of remastering. I hear nothing but good things. People go crazy about it. It's a cold hit, but the original came out 13 fucking years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
These are facts. Now let's talk about Fortnite. You want to talk about Fortnite? Let's talk about Fortnite. So Fortnite. Did you say you had to go through the doc and clean up every instance of Fortnite?
Okay, I had to correct like 6 different instances of you misspelling Fortnite.
Yo, it's hard. It's hard writing these shows.
I understand. That's why I'm here for you. It's okay.
Okay, so Fortnite The Block was announced. It's apparently a map feature that will show off user-created content from the creative mode. Cool?
I mean, that's cool.
No, that's awesome. Fortnite seems to be the biggest game out there because it did the one thing that other games and companies don't do, which is, hey, the barrier of entry is super low. You have a device, we have Fortnite for you. Jump online with your friends. Its matchmaking is so simple. The concept of the game is pretty easy to grasp. And oh, hey, it's not a game where people's heads are being torn off, so the kids can play it too. They hit every.
I mean, it's not a bad concept. Yeah, it's just not for me. That's it.
Same boat. It's just not for me. It's not an experience I can like lose hours in. But hey, good for you
I
out there if
will
you're creating shit. Hmm.
exactly. I will let other people enjoy it. That's for you. Have fun. I'm not gonna sit here and yuck anybody's yums. Have a good time.
The next thing on here, Rage 2 got a
Thank you.
announcement date. There we go. Yep, they got a date. Really. Let me try that again. This is all being thrown out. Rage 2 got a release date announced with a new trailer. It's happening May 14th, 2019. Apparently, it plays like Doom, looks like Borderlands, and seems caustically annoying. Uh, that's the truth. I'm sorry. It looks so, the marketing is so irritating for this fucking game. Like, everything's like, party, party, party. We're going to go to the desert and be badasses. And I'm just like, Borderlands did this like fucking years ago already. Come on. Have your own
So,
event.
does that mean you're not gonna get it?
I'm not that interested in Rage. I picked up Rage 1 and was just like, oh, this is kind of bland, has interesting ideas, but it's kind of bland. I don't know. I'm not sure what I expected, but I definitely wasn't wowed when I played through some of it. But I mean, part 2 seems like they're actually investing some talent into it. That's a bad thing to say.
I mean,
The first one was
listen, at least you're honest.
yeah, honesty is what we're about in the save room. I don't know. I'm not that interested in, honestly, more and more games come out every year, and I work more than I did when I was 22. So when like the last Rage came out,
Exactly.
I got to be pretty choosy about how I spend my time. I don't know if I'm going to spend it on Rage 2, but hey, if you're out there and you dig it, I am willing to be surprised. I am agnostic towards Rage 2. Impress me. Go ahead, do it. Last thing on here is actually a major surprise for Smash players. Joker from Persona 5 is coming to Smash Bros. Ultimate as a DLC fighter, the first of 5 content packs. If you didn't know, that's going to be including a new level and some music from the game that the character is from, which means we're going to get fucking Beneath the Mask in the game, I bet you. Oh, man. Do you know the song?
What does that mean?
You don't know what Beneath the Mask is? The song from
No.
Persona 5, the video game by Atlas?
Go on.
Oh, well, it goes like this. It goes, I'm a shapeshifter at Pose Masquerade, hiding both face and mind, all free for you to draw. Nothing? That's not.
Nope.
Are you sure? Like, not even. Well, how about, I'm a shapeshifter. What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark. No, nothing? You got.
Oh,
No.
oh, you know what? Now that you say that,
Yeah.
no.
Oh. Well, anyway, it was really exciting for nerds.
I can't relate.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes here. Let's talk about the Game Awards winners. Now, I want to mention the nominees for like kind of the top categories, but we're going to do a fucking like speed through for the rest of them because Jeff kind of did the same thing. In fact, he did this weird shit where the pre-show had award announcements. Like, what?
I saw that.
I was like, what's going on? Isn't that kind of a major bummer? Like, what if you didn't know that?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, hey, your indie game got fucking game of the year or some shit for
You're like, what? I was
indie
in the
game category.
bathroom. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. It was like this was the pre-show. I thought you were just gonna do like some music and some jokes, and Jack Black was gonna take off his shirt or something.
Oh my god.
Well, let's go to the cream of the crop here, and we'll talk it out. We'll talk our feelings out on this one. Okay?
Let's do it.
Game of the year went to God of War, Sony Santa Monica, and SIE. I called it, didn't I? Call it? I called it.
No, I called it.
What do you mean you called it? Who'd you call?
This is what I voted for. This is what I was hoping would win. I think this game was a powerhouse. What I played of it was impressive. I mean, I think that what they did with this game is probably one of the best that they've done in a long time.
Yeah, through and through, it is a solid game. It honestly, like, you could see all of its design goals laid out before it, and it just fucking hits the mark on each. It is such a solid experience, and the story is legitimately affecting for having to deal with, the war god Kratos, who was just a fucking rage monster in the first 3 games. Barely a characterization, more of an idea of, anger personified.
Exactly.
So it was so cool to actually see a characterization They give him that kind of grounding with his son. It totally deserved it. The runner-ups on there were actually Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, Spider-Man, oh, Petey, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2. I honestly thought I was going to go to Red Dead because
Eh,
it just seemed like an easy thing. And my personal pick was Spider-Man. That's my favorite game of the year.
of course.
But I respect the shit out of what God of War did. And if Spider-Man didn't come out this year, I would be like, oh yeah, without a question. But I'm extremely biased. So,
Fair enough.
best game direction went to God of War.
Huh. Weird.
The nominees in that category were A Way Out, Detroit Become Human. How fucking dare you, Jeff Keighley?
Ah,
And
God
then
damn it.
Spider-Man and Red Dead 2. Come on. Fuck it. David Cage. If I saw that son of a bitch on stage, I'd be like, don't do a 2019, Jeff.
Don't you do it.
Sorry. I don't know. I don't know. You know the criticism's right about that game.
I understand. I understand.
And I'm there with it. And I've never played a David Cage game that like he uses metaphors like you would a chainsaw.
Jesus, that was a visceral image.
Really though. Like my man should not be allowed near words. Like that's the truth. Anyway, I am glad that it went to Red Dead. We touched on it earlier in the episode. I really do think it's the best story of the year. It has something to say, and it's so impactful. I think back to moments where it's just the simple lines. It's the first Rockstar game where it's not like every character is a character, where every character is over the fucking top, like Trevor from GTA 5.
Oh,
No,
God.
you have grounded conversations about morality, what it means to actually grieve over the loss of a lifestyle, uh, the self-assessment that comes with somebody who is realizing his way of life is reaching a twilight. It's hard shit, and it's
Yeah.
good. And I just remember like getting toward some of the final chapters of the game, again, no spoiler, where I was actually kind of just like choked up. Like it was hard to get through a scene because I was just like, I knew where it was going and it hurt. And no other experience this year did that for me. A Rockstar game did. So
I mean, it happens.
best narrative, Red Dead. Now, best ongoing game.
Drum roll, please.
Wait a second. Did I just skip something? Yes, I did.
You started with best game direction and then you moved into best narrative.
Yes, I did. Did I announce that best narrative was Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm an idiot. Been drinking. Anyway, these things are hard to run, yo. Anyway,
I know.
best ongoing game winner Fortnite. Okay, that's a new category. I mean, yeah.
Anyway,
that's how games are. That's an interesting way to look at it, where it was like, hey, even though this game came out in like 2016, 2017, it still has a fan base, it still has a community, it's still much different than where it started out. And you look at the other games that were nominated: Destiny 2, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege. None of them resemble the game at launch. You know, they went through this continuous evolutions. And I guess I would agree. I don't know for sure firsthand that Fortnite was really supporting it. And I've heard that they were supporting that game in such elegant ways and interesting ways to make it seem fair and not kind of exclusionary like some of the other games when they introduce their DLC. So
exactly.
Good on you, Fortnite. You're doing it, man. You're the most popular game I don't play. All right, we're gonna speed through some of this shit and stop me when you actually want to like, hey, let's talk about this. Okay.
You got it.
So, best art direction went to Return of the Obra Dinn by 3909 LLC.
So
looks like they didn't land on a name.
fair enough. I will say that I am a really big fan of that studio. They actually did Papers, Please, which was one of my very favorite indie games of all time.
Have you played this one?
I have not, and I really want to. It's next on my Steam games that I'm going to be purchasing. It looks really fascinating. I agree that it should have absolutely won for best art direction. It's a very stellar kind of examination in the way indie games are. So I'm looking forward to playing it.
Okay, I want to check it out too. Like I'm interested. I need to go back and play Papers, Please. Did they put that on the Switch? Fuck you.
I don't
Please.
know if please. I don't know if they did, but if it's on there, I absolutely recommend it. And if it's cheap, I'll just buy it for you, honestly, because it's incredible.
Awesome. So next one on here, best score slash music went to Red Dead Redemption 2. And let's compound that with best audio design also went to Red Dead. I'm inclined to agree as well. I think the music was actually really affecting throughout Red Dead and very interesting and very much the way that the audio design laced it to certain moments that were definitely like caused by me and not just story beats was so kind of gratifying and interesting and just brought it to life. Like
I think the first game was like that too.
yeah, like what just having like a great
Great
score
sound.
or
Yeah,
yeah.
great sound design. It was great.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Like I think it goes through and through, especially when you get to the latter chapters of the game where they actually start doing like lyric driven songs, which is a surprise. Like the first time it happens, you're like, oh wait, what's
Wait.
happening? Yeah, so I'm there for it. Now, best performance went to Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan from Red Dead 2. I think an argument could have been made for the actor that played Cassandra in Assassin's Creed Odyssey,
Mhm.
but so I didn't care for Arthur Morgan to start with.
Right.
But by the time that I, actually got through the credits and through everything, yeah, no, I agree. It went places and he delivered it in a way, especially when something happens to his character and the way that the actor portrays it is so affecting and so fucking good. So I agree. I agree with that one. Is there anything that stood out to you this year?
No, I mean, I think I agree with you that initially I wasn't really a huge fan, but what I have seen and what I've watched people play of that game, I respect the performance.
Okay, since there's no other appropriate place to put it in this episode, I'm gonna use my John Marston impression here. My
Okay.
name is John Marston, and I love Abigail. There you go.
I feel like I'm right back in the first Red Dead.
And Little Jack. Games for Impact goes to Celeste by Matt Makes Games. I really need to play this game at this
Yeah.
point because people are
Yeah.
going nuts for it. I hear the music is fucking great, done by Lena Raines, and I actually listened to the soundtrack before I ever played the game, and I was like, "This is
Nice.
fucking popping."
So it also won Best Independent Game. So I think that on top of the things that it won and the things that it was nominated for, I think that this game is going to be extremely successful after the fact.
Yeah, I have to wonder what sales look like after an event like this for like
Exactly.
smaller games. Like they probably get a big old shining spotlight on them, which is good. It's good for them.
Which is great.
Best mobile game goes to Florence by Mountain / Annapurna Interactive. I have heard nothing but great things about this, and that it's also 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's just in and out, and apparently it is one of the most impactful experiences this year, according to the people that have actually gotten their hands on it.
I'll have to check it out.
I'll have to check it out too. I don't know nothing about it. Now, best VR / AR game goes to Astrobot Rescue Mission by SIE Japan Studio. It's a platformer in VR, but you're kind of like controlling the robot that isn't you doing it. So it's not like first person in that way. It's a really interesting way to handle kind of like a classic platformer as a VR game. So I've heard nothing but good things about that one too. So hey, good on you. Although I heard that Beat Saber was robbed in this category. Best action game goes to Dead Cells by Motion Twin. Yep. Dead Cells is very fucking fantastic. Very, very, it takes kind of the learnings from Dark Souls and Metroidvania games and just combines them into one. It's interesting how they went with that, whereas I got my hands on Hollow Knight this year, which went a very different direction with that idea of like, hey, we're Dark Souls inspired and also a Metroidvania game. They were more about the exploration, whereas Dead Cells is more about that kind of recurring gameplay loop of like, you got to do better the next time. So
right.
Very cool game. Great music, by the way. Best action / adventure game went to God of War. Sure. I mean, just take it all. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, God of War. Best roleplay game goes to Monster Hunter World. Now, I don't disagree. Is it a role-playing game? Are we calling it an RPG?
I mean, how would you classify it?
I would say, yeah, it's an action RPG, but for me that maybe it's just a kudos to the way that the game feels and handles it. I think of it more as an action adventure game with RPG elements than I do as like a straight up RPG.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
but because like the narrative is so dialed back in that, it really is just about like, hey, go out there and go hunt for fucking an hour and have fun. Than it is like an RPG in my mind is like Octopath Traveler and other games
Right.
that came out this year. Like, no. But hey, I'm glad recognition went to Monster Hunter World. It came out like in February, and it's so easy for it to have been forgotten by the fall season, but it left a lasting impression, being actually one of Capcom's most successful game out of this world. So, best fighting game went to Dragon Ball Fighter Z by Arc System Works and Nando Bamco. I agree. Actually, it was a better Marvel vs. Capcom than the latest Marvel vs. Capcom was.
Wow.
That's the best way to put it. Excuse me. Best family game went to Overcooked 2. I didn't feel the hype for Overcooked 2 like I did for the first one. People went fucking nuts for part 1, and I don't know if it was when it released or anything, but it actually is. It's still a very good game. Did you get your hands on this one?
We played this together like 3 weeks ago.
I totally forgot. We were drinking a lot, Jess. Come on.
There were things that were distracting us from the game, but yeah, we put a ton of hours into that when I was there.
Oh, remembering the nori is the hardest part for the sushi.
Yeah. I really liked the way they did the level design in that game, so I think it definitely deserved that win.
Oh, there you go. Best strategy game goes to Into the Breach, Subset Games. I don't know anything about it. So best sports game, best sports/racing game goes to Forza Horizon 4 by Turn 10 Studios. Sure, I believe you.
Okay.
Best multiplayer game goes to Fortnite. Man, how'd you get in there, you son of a bitch?
God damn it.
You wily son of a bitch, winning up all those awards. Best student game goes to Combat 2018 by Inland Norway University of Applied Sciences. And if you didn't know the country, it's Norway. Cool. I'm glad that's category. And
yeah, I love that.
Inspired to, they show up again at the Game Awards with another category or something.
I think that's a nice boon for young developers to aspire to.
A nice Ed boon, if you will.
Nope.
Just please. Best debut indie game goes to The Messenger, Sabotage Studio. I've heard nothing but good things about this fucking game.
Really?
Yeah, it is a callback to the original Ninja Gaiden games, but it has a kind of subversive twist in that here's a spoiler. Apparently, they consider it a spoiler because it's tethered to the story. So you've been warned, motherfuckers. It goes from 8-bit to 16-bit because it has a time travel component to it.
Oh, fuck.
Which is really cool. The music changes, the graphics get upscaled at a certain point. It's such a cool thing that they did.
Ooh, I'm into that.
It's for the Switch. But it is brutally hard from what I understand.
Well, never the fucking mind.
There you go. Best esports game, Overwatch. Sure.
Okay.
I agree. I love Overwatch.
Fair enough.
Best esports player goes to Dominic Sonic Fox McLean from Team Echo Fox. Let us take a moment to talk about this fine young gentleman. We have talked about Sonic Fox previously on the show when we did a segment about Good Gamer, where he won an Injustice 2 tournament and actually gave a portion of his proceeds to his opponent because his opponent's father was diagnosed with a terminal illness. So this cat is great. He is a shining light. He is a pillar.
He's a good
gaming
boy.
Community. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
And he got up on stage in his furry costume, his furry outfit, his fox persona, forgive me, and took off his mask and was just like, I'm black, I'm gay, I'm pretty much everything that Republicans hate, and I happen to be the best esports player in the world. And like, it was such a big, like, triumphant moment. It was just like, this is my favorite moment of this fucking show because it's the most real moment.
It was worth the entire show to see that happen.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, he got blowback after the fact.
Of course.
A
lot of people have kind of gotten on his case for making it political. But I think that the state of the world right now and the state of gaming in general being the community that it is, I don't think he was in the wrong at all to say what he did. And I think it's true. I mean, he does represent a lot of the minority in the gaming community, and the fact that he won such like a huge award is a really big deal.
It is a big deal, and the recognition that he's a great opponent. He is a great proponent in his community as well. I love this kid. I do. He's fucking great. I hate that he's
Yeah.
dealing with trolls online right now, but he's dealing with it with such aplomb. He's just snapping right back at him. He's giving
Yeah.
them those hot takes. He's just like, shut your ugly ass mouth.
I mean,
I love it.
trolls are part and parcel of being in the gaming community and just being
Yeah.
online in general. But I think he's handling it well. And honestly, it's really cool to see. I think he definitely talked about, the queer community and how amazing it is to have him be in the spotlight at the forefront of that. And I think that's extremely important. I think it's really necessary right now.
Keep on doing it, Sonic Fox, because you're fucking great.
Keep
You
doing
are
it, man.
great. Keep doing it, man. I loved it. So best esports team goes to Cloud9. Best esports coach goes to Bach Reaper Hongju. Best esports event goes to League of Legends World Championship. That's a lot esports stuff. It's esports all the way down. Best esports host is Anders Bloom Fiji Sojox de Putur. I'm not even gonna try.
Oh my
That's a lost
God, a
cause.
mouthful.
Best esports moment goes to C9 comeback win in triple OT versus. Never mind about this one. And then content creator of the year goes to Ninja.
Congratulations, Ninja.
Good job, Ninja. You're a millionaire and you're also content creator of the year. Go celebrate by dyeing your hair another color, I guess.
Yeah, the shade of it all. My goodness.
Yeah, I love the tea that was being spilled online because like he showed up to present an award with a fucking Muppet on stage and they're like, oh, so he'll present with a Muppet, but he won't stream with a woman. Gotcha.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's so good.
I know.
Well,
So good.
Jesus. I have so much to say on that, but we don't have enough time. Let's just put it that way. I love it.
Exactly. So overall, like it is a well-produced show, and despite the glitz and glam that they have to coat on that to get viewership, and despite the obvious self-flagellation that occurs during the fucking show. Wait, flagellation means masturbation, right? Or flagellation is self-beating.
Yeah, sure. Nope. Let's go with the first one.
Okay. Despite all that, Jeff Keighley does kind of arrange something that is it makes it feel special. It makes it feel recognized. And it's cool to see people that we wouldn't have known otherwise get up on stage. And maybe my greatest hope for these kinds of shows is that it has this kind of ripple effect where when you see somebody like Corey Balrog, for instance, get up on stage and he's just a normal dude, passionate, thankful, and was just like, we didn't know that this was going to work.
Yeah.
I want that to inspire, other creators out there. They're just like, I don't know that I could do this. And it's like, oh, look, like they're just people.
Yeah, they're just humans.
Yeah. So that's why, like, I understand the criticism when you do have like celebrity presenters and stuff. And I get it. It brings a certain level of, I don't know, fluff to your show that you need to have there. But otherwise, I think it's well-meaning. I never feel like that show is just done to, make sure Jeff Keighley's eaten in a Tesla by next year. I don't feel that way. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I mean I completely agree, and I think the more heart they put into it, the better. And I think this bodes well for next year's awards.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it just keeps on growing and it gets, it gets better. Like this was a good show. Like there's like the musical performances were fucking great. We had Hans Zimmer coming out there, even though he only played in 30-second stints for some reason. I think it's a cool celebration. I think we finally got to this level where it's like, hey man, we have something that competes with like an Emmy level show. It's
exactly.
It's not just happening like in a warehouse somewhere, like back in 2013 with fucking
oh my God.
Jeff McHale making fun of. Is his name Jeff McHale? No, it's
Joe
McHale fucking making fun of gamers because it's low hanging fruit. Like, no, exactly. We finally evolved past that, which is great. But it was a cool show and there's cool games, and I'm excited about the shit again. Surfacing it up, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Oh, sorry, that's not happening again.
was
That
about to
came
say,
out.
I was like, that is not what's coming out.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance
Yes.
3, the what is it, Border Worlds? No, that's not Border. The
What?
Outer Worlds.
What?
This one's getting derailed. We gotta shut this podcast down.
God, it's going off the rails.
Yeah, so exciting stuff. Good shit. Good
Good
job,
stuff.
Jeff.
Lots to look forward to.
Get some sleep, my dude.
I think that there will be once these things that we've got a really nice lineup for the next year. I mean, there's a lot of really interesting games that are not your typical genre games, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that I think that was the most exciting thing, to see games that weren't your norm, that weren't just like, oh, here's a gigantic military shooter dancing across the screen. Like some of it was just like,
Exactly.
no, that looked kind of artful. That looked kind of cool. I'm
Yeah.
into that. Yeah, but hey, good job, Jeff. Get some sleep.
Good job, Jeff.
All right. Well, I think it's time to shut this bad boy down. I don't even know how long we were going. Fucking 8 hours?
Hours easily.
Hours easily? Okay, that's gonna be a lot to edit. Cool.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fuck yeah. Anyway, but Jess, thank you for joining me on the save room, filling in for Daniel. I know those are awkward shoes to fill.
Actually, luckily, I learned many years ago that Daniel and I have the same size feet, so it's all good. Thank you.
Oh,
I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you for coming on board. Thank you for hashing it out. And save roommates, thanks for listening. As always, I know some of these episodes get out of hand, but we always appreciate your ears. And again, if you actually want to engage with us, hit us up on Twitter. We're at Save Room Show. Maybe you have some suggestions for us to suck less, or maybe you just want to talk about games that you want to point out. Awesome. Do it. We appreciate it. But again, you can find us on soundcloud.com/Save Room Show, or Spotify, or iTunes, Google Play, wherever your ears may float. Do yours float?
Ooh. No, I liked that.
You like that? Wherever your ears
Yeah,
float.
I liked that.
I don't know. It sounds ominous. It sounds like something Pennywise would say.
I don't understand the reference, and I won't respond to it.
It's a reference to a Dean Koontz novel.
God fucking damn it.
But thank you for joining me. Is there any sound off that you want to give to the kids at home?
Just go buy Katamari. And if anybody wants to donate a Switch to me, I will give you a P.O. box to send it to.
I will forward that on the Twitter.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a great, it's whatever time of day it is for you. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.